class children. I am your science teacher and my name is Mrs. Jyoti. So we are in lesson number 4, that is animals living and surviving. So keep your textbooks ready and your pencil also ready and open page number 279. So in the previous class we have learned about the adaptations of animals. Animals adapt themselves, they make some changes in their bodies to get adapted to that situation. Who cannot adapt to the climatic condition, they exist, they die after certain period of time. And we have also learned about the habitat. So based on the habitat, there are 5 types. The animals which live on land, terrestrial animals which live in water are called aquatic, and which live both on land and water are called as amphibians. Then which live on trees are called arboreal, and which live in the sky, they spend most of the time in the sky, are called as aerial. So there are 5 different types of animals. Now in that we are going to learn about the terrestrial animals. So what are terrestrial animals? Animals that live on land. Animals that live on land are called as terrestrial animals. Now if you see, under terrestrial animals, again there are 3 types. Okay, like if it is land also, there are different climatic conditions, and if you see, it is a desert. Desert is completely dry and it's very hot. Then mountainous regions, mountainous, they are like hills which are very height, and if you see the animals which live on mountainous regions, it's very difficult for them to find the food, and it's very difficult for them to breathe the air like oxygen because they are at very height. Then polar regions in the sense very cold regions where there is a snowfall. So let us learn about this 3 types. Okay, so page number 279. So terrestrial animals. Animals that live on land are known as terrestrial animals. So terrestrial animals are also known as land animals. So these animals have developed the following features to make them suitable to live on the land. So there are some modifications in their body, that is they have adapted themselves to live in this climatic condition. So let us see what are the adaptations of the terrestrial animals. The first one is they have 4 legs that help them to walk, run on the land. So these animals mostly they have 4 legs, and they have 2 only. But most of the animals they have 4 limbs. So they have a pair of lungs that help them to breathe. If you see fishes, they have gills to breathe, and if you see birds, they have like small nostrils, they have to breathe. And whereas these animals which live on the land, they have lungs and nose to breathe. They have very well developed sense organs, such as they can sense of hearing or smell. They use these senses for hunting and protecting themselves from the enemies. So these animals, they have very well developed sense organs. So they can smell the other animal. For suppose if there is a lion, it can smell the other animal like deer. So it helps them to hunt the other animals, and even deer also, it can sense the sound where the lion or tiger coming near to it. So they hear it, the sense they can hear it, and they can protect themselves by running away from that place. Then turn the page number 280. Horses, cows, pigs and bears are the examples of domestic terrestrial animals. Tigers, lions, zebra, cheetah, wolves, leopard and wild elephants are examples of terrestrial animals living in the forest. So horses, cows, pig, hen, these are all the domestic animals. So what are domestic animals? Animals which live along with us. Okay, these animals, they live along with us in along with the human beings. So these animals, they are very useful to us. If they are in very less number, like 1 or 2 or 3, we grow them along with us in our home. But if they are in large number, we create a proper shed to that and we keep them in a farm. So these domestic animals, they live along with us and they are very helpful to us. For example, horses, donkeys and cows, they all help in carrying the loads. Then hens, ducks, they give us eggs. Then hens, sheep and all, they give us meat. Cows, buffaloes, goat, they give milk to us. Okay, and if you see cows, they plough the field. So these animals, they help us in different ways. They give us food and even they help in our daily activities also. That's why they are called as the domestic animals. And few animals, if you see, like lion, cheetah, wolf, fox and all, they live in the jungle area. They live in the forest areas. Okay, they do not live along with us in the society. They live only in the forest. So deserts, forest, coastal and mountain regions are all terrestrial habitats. So let us learn how different animals have adapted to their natural habitats in different ways. So under terrestrial habitat also there are again different habitats. So the first one is desert. So desert, they are very dry. There is no water at all. There is a lot of scarcity of water and food. Then forest, it is full of trees and plants. Then coastal areas. Coastal areas is the place where land and water meet. Then mountain regions like hills and all. Okay, so now these are the different habitats of under terrestrial habitats. Now let us see how animals have adapted themselves under this terrestrial habitat. Now the first one is the deserts. So what are the adaptations of animals which live in the desert region? Camels are examples of land animals found in deserts. So the most of the animals, they live in other regions, but only camels we can see in the desert areas. They are also called as the sheep of the desert because there is lot of sand over there. Other animals, they cannot walk properly. As camel, it has very long legs. Because of that long legs, it can easily walk. Okay, so most of the people to travel from one place to the other place, they use this camel only. So only the camel can survive in the desert. So what are the adaptations of this camel? Already we have discussed in the introduction part. It has a hump. So this hump is going to store the extra fat which is used later whenever there is no availability of food. So conserve water in their bodies. They store lots of water in their body. It has a huge stomach where it can store liters and liters of water. Survive without food and water for many days. So as there is water, it drinks a lot of water. So it cannot it can survive for many days without drinking the water. So protects themselves from heat and cold. The body of camel is covered with a thick skin and scanty fur that helps them to adapt in desert where days are very hot and nights are very cold. So in the desert region, what happens is the days will be very hot and nights will be very cold. So here this animal's skin is very thick, which helps it to survive in both hot climate and even in the cold climate also. So these are the adaptations of desert animals. So camel is the best example. So it drinks lot of water which will be used for the further use, and it can survive for many days without eating food and without drinking water. And if you see the skin of this animal, it is very thick. Then the desert kangaroo rat is almost perfectly adapted to life of the desert. It can survive without drinking any water and getting the required moisture from their seed diet. So here there are kangaroo rats. So the kangaroos which live in desert region, we call them as kangaroo rats. So these animals also, they can live for many days without eating the food and without drinking the water. Then how is it able to survive? So whatever food it eats mostly the fruits and seeds. So whatever moisture or whatever water content is present in that fruit, it's going to absorb. So with the only that little amount of water, it's going to survive. Then animals which live in the mountainous region. So here you can see the picture of a yak. So snow leopards, yaks and musk deers are some of the animals living in the mountains. So how these animals they adapt themselves to the environment, let us see. Long, thick, coarse and wavy coat of fur that protects them from low temperature of hilly regions. So as they are in very height, the temperature is low over there. So their skin helps them to protect the cold climate. So the skin is very thick and on the skin they have even fur also. Wavy fur. They have a wavy fur. Wavy in the sense like this. The fur is wavy. Like if you see the hair. Some they have very straight hair and some they have very curly hair. Right? Some they have straight hair and some they have like this and some they have like this and few like this. Yes, we have different types of hair. Even here also these animals they have different types of fur. So the animals which live in the hilly areas they have a wavy fur. So these adaptations help them to live in the very cold climatic condition. Large heart and lungs which allow them to live and breathe. So 1800 feet above the sea level where the air has very less oxygen. So here down we have so many trees so that we have lot of oxygen. On the hilly areas there are very less number of trees and the oxygen also is very less. Even though they are able to live because they have a very big heart. So what is the size of our heart? Our heart size is the size of our fist. And even those animals, they have a very huge heart and lungs are also very big. So with the help of that huge heart and lungs, they are going to breathe lot of oxygen. So here there are two types of modifications for the animals which live in the hilly areas or the mountainous regions. One is they have very thick skin and thick fur and wavy fur. And another one is they have a very big heart and a very huge lungs. So with the help of these two adaptations, the animals over there are able to survive. And the examples are yak, leopard and deer. Then animals which live in the polar regions. Polar regions in the sense animals which live in the cold areas where there is lot of snowfall continuously. So how animals are going to adapt in that climatic conditions? Let us see. Animals such as polar bear, seals, walrus and penguins are adapted to live in the freezing condition of the polar regions. So these animals have developed the following adaptations to survive over there. So what are the examples of animals which live in the polar regions? Penguins, seals, then polar bears and walrus. So what are the two adaptations of these animals? Let us see. So here there is a picture of a polar bear and you all know how a penguin will be, right? So they have a thick layer of fat called blubber. They have a very thick layer of fat which is called as blubber under their skin to keep their body warm. In addition, it also serves as the source of energy during the winter. So during winter, it's very difficult for the animals to come out of their den. For example, if you see a polar bear, it makes a den. It lives inside a den. If there is a continuous snowfall, it cannot come out for hunting and eating. So in such cases, what happens is whatever fat is there under its skin, that fat it will use as its food. It will use to gain the energy. So not only to gain the energy, this fat and the very thick skin skin and fur on their body, it also helps them to live in the winter climatic condition. That means there will always be a snowfall. So to get rid out of that climatic condition, they have very thick skin, they have very thick fur, and even there is a fat under the skin. They have lot of fat, and that is called as blubber. It's called as blubber. And what is the next one? So they have very thick fur on their body, which keeps the body warm and protects them from the harsh climatic conditions. So not only this, they are going to have a very thick fur. Okay, like how we have cats and dogs, they have very normal fur. But these polar bears, they have very thick fur, which helps them to protect from the cold climatic conditions. So this is about the terrestrial animals. Okay, now your homework is you have to read lesson number 4. So this is your homework. Read lesson number 4, page number 279 and 280. So whatever topic we have discussed today, that you have to read, and you have to find out 10 new words and write down in the homework book one time. Okay, so that will be your homework. So today we have discussed about the terrestrial animals. Under terrestrial animals, we have discussed about deserts, we have discussed about mountainous animals, and we have also discussed about the polar region animals. So how the animals in deserts, they modify themselves. So animals which live in deserts, they drink lots of water. The best example is camel, and even kangaroo rats also, they drink lot of water and they eat lot of food whenever there is availability. And these animals, they can live for many days without drinking water and food. Then animals which live in the hilly areas, as there is very less oxygen over there, they have very big heart and very huge lungs to breathe the air, and their skin is also very thick, and they have a wavy fur. And animals which live in the polar regions, so they have very thick skin and they have very thick fur to get rid of the climatic condition over there. And under the skin, they have a huge layer of fat, which is called as blubber. Later, it is used as the food in the winter season. So most of the time there will be snow, but in winter season there will be lot of snowfall where the animals cannot come out for hunting. So in such conditions, these animals can use that blubber, that fat, as the food to gain the energy to live for the next coming time. So that's all for today. In the next class, we will learn about the aquatic animals. That is page 281 and 282 we are going to learn. So hope you all have understood the lesson up to now. Read the lesson, find out 10 new words and write it one time. Learn the new words also. So read the lesson from the beginning. Hope you all have understood till now. Maintain your classworks neat and good. Write the question answers and all. Keep your textbook and classwork up to date. So we'll meet in the next class. Thank you.